So, I was sitting around wondering what the hell to film, and I remember that a pretty big thing is happening, like, right now. December is coming to an end. 2015 is 3 days away, and what? Well, it's 3 days away today, but by the time I post this, it's probably nearer. So, basically, I remembered I actually have a wrap-up to film, so let's do this. The first book I finished this month was a book I started last month, and that is Flawless by Sarah Shepard, book number 2 in the Pretty Little Liars series. I included Pretty Little Liars in my previous wrap-up, and I mentioned that I really enjoyed this, and I have to say that I liked Flawless better, a tiny bit better, because we got a whole lot more backstory on the characters. We also got deeper into the plot, which I just love, because Pretty Little Liars has one of the most intriguing and intricate plots like ever. If you watch the television show, you know what I'm talking about. But yeah, I really liked it. It wasn't quite a 5-star book for me. I gave it 4 out of 5 stars. I am very interested in continuing this series. I hope in 2015 I can get around to number 3 or even number 4. I guess we'll see. The second book I finished this month was a French translation into Portuguese, and that is Le Concile de Pierre. I hope that's how you pronounce it. I didn't like this book at all. I only gave it 2 and not 1 star because in the midst of my not enjoying this book, I actually found some redeeming qualities, like for example the story that was going on. I thought that was very interesting, but the book was just so slow, and I just did not have the patience for it, especially since I had much more interesting books to read. I got about 70% done, and I just could not care less for the characters, for the story. It didn't interest me in the least how the story ended, so I put it down. There's actually a movie for this. I don't know if I'll ever get around to watching it, but for the sake of not ending this book, because I really like ending the books I start, I will maybe one day watch it. The fourth book that I finished this month was Because of Winn Dixie by Kate DiCamillo. This author, she is a children's author I really admire. My first endeavors into English reading were her books, and I just really like them. This is about a young girl who has just moved into a new town. Her father is a preacher. She doesn't know anybody, and she's desperate for new friends. And as she starts making new friends, she starts actually realizing what went on with her mother, because her mother left her father and her when she was around 3 years old because she is an alcoholic, and so it's her dealing with that and her learning to let her mom go. She has always been hopeful that her mom would return, and in the midst of all of this is this dog, Winn Dixie, that it brings everyone closer. And I love that nearly every of Kate DiCamillo's books involve an animal, and I love how she uses animals to actually make us feel things and to make us question ourselves, the hard questions, and I really like this book. I rated it 4 out of 5 stars. It is a very good children's book. I don't know if a teenager would enjoy it, but I really did. I finished this in about an hour and a half, and it feels weird because the movie is longer than that, and also the movie is like super true to the book. It's like the book on screen, so check that out. The lead is Anna Sophia Robb when she was starting her career, so absolutely no harm there. The fifth book I finished this month was The Winner's Curse by Marie Rutkoski. I really liked this book. You'll see that I gave it a 4 out of 5 stars on Goodreads because I thought the beginning was a little slow. I really like this book. I have a book discussion on this. You can click here if you are interested in that. I will leave it down below as well. Basically, this deals with a teenage girl who is the daughter of a very famous general of a conquering empire that is just devastating the whole world in this. She buys a slave at an auction, and it's the aftermath of her buying the slave. I found it really interesting and unique. I have mentioned so many times that this book is unique. I appreciate the book and the author for doing something that is just so original, and I really recommend it. I said before that this was a dystopian, but people categorize it as high fantasy. I really don't see how this is a high fantasy, but I'm very new to this whole book universe, so high fantasy / dystopian. So yeah, that's The Winner's Curse. I highly recommend it. Go pick it up. The sixth book that I finished this month was This Beauty, The Shadow of the Wind by Carlos Ariza Zafón. I am tired of saying that this book is just so so good. I can't really describe it. I was planning to make a whole video talking about this book, but I just can't get my thoughts straight on how good this actually is. It was originally written in Spanish, translated into Portuguese. This book makes you feel so many things. It's so good. I cannot believe that this book came out of an actual person, you know, to have this much imagination and background and just history. It's just so mind-blowing that a person, you know, like you and me actually wrote this. It came out of someone's brain. And I know that sounds super stupid because all of the books I have over here came out of someone's brain, but this one is just so special and I really recommend it. Now I can actually talk about the book. This is, again, set in Barcelona. We have two simultaneous time periods. We have the very, very late 19th century, and then we have just before the Second World War began. Our main time zone is the latter. We have this boy, Daniel Semper. He is 10 years old. His father is taking him for the first time to a family heirloom of a place where every single forgotten book goes. It's called the Cemetery of Forgotten Books. Basically, his family has had the tradition of when boys come of age, they go there and they pick a book and they swear to keep it and love it for their lives. This boy picks a book called The Shadow of the Wind. Daniel really, really, really likes this book. He spends literally all night reading it, and then he wants to learn more about the author, only to find out that the author is a ghost. Like, he can't find out anything about him, and that obviously just turns him even more on for finding stuff about this really intricate, really beautiful, and like, as you read the novel, you find out that this puzzle is just so beautiful and you're getting the pieces of it. You don't find out that you're getting pieces of a puzzle until the very last few pages where the puzzle is actually given to you. It's just, I don't have enough good things to say about this book. I really recommend it. I don't know if it's for everyone. I have not yet heard a single person talk about this book because it's not really popular among teenagers. This book is more
prestigious.
I think that's how you say it. More prestigious in the adult book club thing. There is a better summary down below if you are interested, because I just can't fathom my thoughts into constellations when it comes to The Shadow of the Wind. So yeah, that's about it. I just spent 2 million minutes talking about this book. I don't regret it. I hope you're still with me. Let's move on. The other book I read this month was Tiger Rising by Kate Camillo, another book in the same format. Again, it's in Portuguese. This one wasn't quite as good, but it also deals with the loss of a family member. It deals with social relationships with your friends, and also deals with the consequences of going headstrong into a decision without really knowing what it is that's going to bring into your life. And I think that is just so amazing for a children's author to incorporate that so beautifully into a book. I gave 3 out of 5 stars to this one. I did not enjoy it quite as much. Again, I really recommend this author. She wrote one of my favorite books,
The
Miraculous Journey of Edward Tulane. She also wrote The Tale of Despereaux, which has also been adapted into screen. Those 2 books are her best works in my opinion, and I really, really like them. I actually forgot to mention, but my first book I actually finished this month was something that I began also in November, and that is the first book in the Dark Elf trilogy, Homeland by R.A. Salvatore, or Salvatore, I'm sorry. I really enjoyed this book. I gave it 4 out of 5 stars. I was not expecting to like this. My friend had it and I was in love with the cover, and I'm like, please borrow it to me, and she did, and I ended up really liking it. I've said this before, but it's about an elf. He is different from his race. His race is power hungry. His race is murderous and backstabbing and everything evil and cruel. He's different because he wants to do good. He is trying to hide that from his family. It's about this elf trying to come out, I guess you could say, because he is actually very nice, and turns out he's not the only one in the family who wants to do good. This book is not for everyone. I categorize it as high fantasy. It's got elves and magic, and it's really intricate, like a lot of the books I read. I recommend it if you like The Hobbit and The Lord of the Rings, that kind of stuff. Again, I recommend it. I would really like to continue with this series, but my friend only has the first one. I'm currently reading Plus One by Elizabeth Fama. I'm enjoying it. It's nothing special so far, but I hope it picks up. I will try my hardest to finish this next year because I have completed my reading goal for 2014 and I really want to get started on my 2015 one. Also, I only have to put up with this it sounds like a bad thing, but it's not. This book is probably really good. I'm sorry. But I only have to put up with this until Wednesday. Today is Monday because Wednesday is delivery day and Scarlett and Chris are arriving and you know how much I want to read those books, so
I just talked really fast. I am sorry.
But yeah, that is what I'm currently reading. That is what I read in the month of December. I read 7 books, I believe. Counting this one, you know, like 7 and an eighth. So yep, that was my December wrap up. I really hope you enjoyed it.
I will be doing more videos. Obviously I have a YouTube channel, what the hell.
Stay tuned for more. Feel free to subscribe if you want to see more of me. I would really like that a lot. Comment if you've read or want to read any of these books. Share your opinions. I love to discuss these things with people. Actual people, you know. Yeah, that was it. Thank you so much for watching. Goodbye.